What's up, guys? Welcome back to DCA. Tonight, what I want to do is quickly talk about maximizing your risk adjusted returns. So, the way that we're going to approach this is by looking at historical prices of Bitcoin and the leading altcoins at various points in time and how they have performed over a given range of time. We're going to look at how the DCA index risk model could help you to determine when would be the right time to sell your Bitcoin and move into altcoins in order to maximize that risk adjusted return. Okay, so we're going to start back in 2018 and we're going to compare the top altcoins at the time in relation to Bitcoin and see how they performed over time. This is the 2018 top 20 cryptocurrency list. Okay, so obviously Bitcoin, number one, followed by these other coins, which at the time were in the top 20. So you'll notice that we have XRP, Ethereum, Cardano, and so on and so forth. So we're going to look at some of these and we're going to compare them to Bitcoin over this time. We're looking at the last few weeks of the bull market. And I'm going to show why holding altcoins through the end of a bull market into a bear market can be just devastating to your portfolio. Okay, so the bar line represents Bitcoin and the lines represent all of the altcoins. So anywhere from XRP, Ethereum, Litecoin, Quantum, Cardano, Nano, Tron, IOTA, and Bitcoin Cash is what we're looking at here. And the thing you'll notice is if we go dating back to, let's see, we're looking at this from 12/18/2017 until today, Bitcoin has actually outperformed every single one of these except Cardano and Ethereum. Okay, so currently Ethereum is up 554% and Cardano is up 422% from that time. So we have all of these others which have significantly underperformed Bitcoin during this time. You may say, well, oh, that's obvious. I would have just bought a bunch of Cardano and Ethereum. But you have to remember, just like now, unless you're someone who's only buying Ethereum and Bitcoin, it's not always obvious what the best coin is going to be in the next market cycle. And if you're holding a lot of these altcoins, you'll notice that during the deepest depressions of, the bear market, these were all down greater than 90%. Okay, not all of them, but 70 down to almost 99%. Bitcoin during that time was never down more than 75%, which is still a massive hit. But with relation to the other altcoins, it has typically been down less in the bear markets and on average up more than most of your altcoins. So the point of showing this is just to demonstrate that, if you're accumulating a bunch of altcoins right now and you just are saying to yourself, well, I'm just going to hold these through the next bear market into the next bull market, this just goes to show you that you cannot be certain that these are going to come back in price. Because if you take a look here, look at how many of these have in fact not recovered their prior all-time high. In fact, many of them are down. So Bitcoin Cash is down 80%, IOTA is down 62%, Litecoin is down 27%, Quantum is down 62%. So many of these are still down from where they were back in December of 2017. Okay, and then several others like Nano, it's 20%. It's up 20% from where it was. But if you came in a little later into Nano, if we just come to right here, Nano is down 90% from its price peak. All right. So this just goes to show Bitcoin, it's your safest play. It's the reason that it's been your safest play. And Ethereum could be considered sort of in that same category. This is January 2020, a snapshot of the top 21 coins. The reason I'm showing the top 20 and not some other just, random list of coins that we all know now, you have to remember when, a coin first comes out, it's not given that just anyone out there in the crypto market will know about it. Your average person is only going to know or have heard about things in the top 100 coins. Okay. And then outside of that, it really is difficult, especially for a new person, to be able to identify a winner that's outside of the top 100. So something like Matic comes to mind, Polygon. It was outside of the top 100 for quite a while, basically until 2021. And so what that means is these are the types of coins that they're going to be looking at, are things that are obvious and in the top 20 or even maybe top 50. But generally, they will know about the top 20, and that's because those are the ones that have been moving in price. Okay, guys, so this is 2020, and what we're looking at here, essentially from the beginning of the year until the end of the year. So we're looking at right here is where Bitcoin finished 2020. So up around 420%. So it was outperformed by several of these top altcoins from the start of 2020. And you can see Cardano, Link, Ethereum, XLM outperformed Bitcoin. But then there were numerous other coins which significantly underperformed Bitcoin. So Litecoin, Monero, BNB even, Bitcoin Cash, Tron, Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, Tezos, just a bunch of different coins underperformed Bitcoin, even in a very good year. So remember what we say, Bitcoin is typically going to lead the beginning of market cycles. So if we go back here and look at this, remember this is just 2020 that we were just looking at. Now, if you considered someone who's holding from, say, back here, then Bitcoin outperforms these by even more. You'll see that Bitcoin is essentially way ahead of everything else when you look at it, on this scale. Okay? Bitcoin has significantly outperformed almost every other thing when we look at different time frames, especially during the bear market. So when we're coming from a bear market into a bull market, Bitcoin is going to, most of the time, give you the best returns. This chart that we're looking at, Bitcoin is actually performed from the middle of 2018 until now. Bitcoin has outperformed every single thing except Cardano, at least that we're looking at here. And Cardano, the only reason Cardano is outperforming Bitcoin is because Cardano went down to 2 or 3 cents at the time. Cardano was all the way up here at $1.70 or so back in the 2017, early 2018 bull market. If you remove the fact that Cardano was down 98%, Bitcoin has significantly outperformed Cardano when you're looking at a similar time frame. So this is the whole point I'm trying to drive home, guys. This is why Bitcoin should be your core holding, because you don't know which altcoin is going to do well. And if you are, let's say you're just accumulating back here. So let's say you're only accumulating in the bear market and you're like, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to buy altcoins during the bear market because I know they're cheap. Well, that's a fine strategy. But again, Bitcoin outperformed those coins at least through the beginning of the parabolic phase of the bull market in 2020 and 2021. So Bitcoin outperformed almost all of these coins, save just a few, so we're looking until February here. And there's a reason I say until February. So this is why this matters. So when you're using something like the DCA index, which is it's a model for identifying when markets are likely overheated and when they're undervalued. And so when you're at these higher levels, it indicates you should likely be selling. And when you're at these lower levels, it indicates you should likely be buying. So here we have Bitcoin reaching into this 80 to 90 range, and later in February reaching into this 90 to 100 range. Now, the reason this is important is because let's suppose that you started selling a significant portion of your Bitcoin here in this 80 to 90 range. So you're selling somewhere, you're selling in this zone, you're selling a certain percentage, and then you're selling a larger percentage here. So you're essentially out of Bitcoin in the second and third week of February, and you've sold it all. Now, what I do, and whatever you do is up to you, but what I do is I move my position out of Bitcoin when I get to these higher index levels. I move my position out of Bitcoin into the altcoins, and this is why. Here, we've significantly outperformed many of these altcoins up until the second and third week of February. So this is the week of 215. Here in this range, we're selling our Bitcoin and moving into altcoins. So now here are the highest market cap coins from February of 2021. So let's just assume that you're DCAing out of Bitcoin and into these coins. And, obviously I understand, there's other coins you may be DCAing into. So we'll look at some of those like Solana and Matic. But until around this time, most people won't know about these coins because they'll be out of the top 100. And therefore, unless you're a very savvy crypto investor, you likely won't know about them. So your average person will be mostly in these coins during this time. And then your more savvy crypto investors will be in, at least have small positions in things like Solana and Polygon. So this is looking at coin comparisons from, and this is the most important part, from January, when the model has you starting to sell your Bitcoin. Because remember, we've said so many times, Bitcoin leads the charge. Then the altcoins start to run after Bitcoin pulls back and then starts to go on its move again, and when it's going sideways. So the altcoins can go on their run after people start to take their profits from Bitcoin. Taking your profits from Bitcoin here, and the model, mind you, is indicating that you should be starting to DCA out of your position. And now notice Bitcoin is one of the underperformers during this time. And so let's just look at this until May. So let's look from January until the end of this leg of the bull run. So Bitcoin now is only at around 60%. But all of the altcoins during the same time period have significantly outperformed. And so including Solana here. So Aave, BNB, Cardano, DOT, Link, Ethereum, EOS, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Uniswap, and these are all on the top 20 list. So they're just, anyone can pick these. You don't need to be a savvy crypto investor to pick these. So this is why, as you're moving out of your Bitcoin position, then you get into the altcoin positions. So in other words, your primary position that you accumulate during the bear market is Bitcoin. And you can also acquire some altcoins. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that the whole point is Bitcoin is likely going to outperform most of your altcoins. And you can actually acquire more of them by doing it like I'm showing you right now than you could just by acquiring, through these times. Not all of them. You wouldn't be able to acquire more Cardano than you could have acquired, if you started buying it at 2 cents. But you would have to know that Cardano was going to make a massive recovery. And there is no way of knowing that when you're in the bear market. Okay. You don't know if Cardano is going to be the up 5,000% Cardano, or if it's going to be, Litecoin lagging behind the rest of the market. So that's the whole point here. So Bitcoin and dynamic dollar cost averaging out of the market is what provides you the best risk adjusted returns possible. So just to finish this off, you got out of Bitcoin by right here. Okay. So you got out by right here, right from so this is when you would have essentially removed or sold out all of your Bitcoin position. Bitcoin actually did, and we'll go right until the market crashed. Okay, so right until the market crashed in the middle of May. All of these altcoins significantly outperformed Bitcoin during this time, and you could have been DCAing into these because, or, rather than DCAing into them, just buying positions in them as you're moving out of your Bitcoin. And this is when we've said many times that the altcoins start to move, is after Bitcoin makes its large moves and then starts to pull back. So we've went from a place where Bitcoin is outperforming everything to Bitcoin is now underperforming everything. Again, just to reiterate, because I know we're going over a lot here. As Bitcoin starts to go parabolic, okay, it's outperforming basically the entire market except for, it won't outperform everything, but it's outperforming the majority of the market. Several coins will be outperforming it, but you can't know which those are going to be necessarily. Then as the market starts to go parabolic in the setting of the bull market, Bitcoin will go first, as we showed here. Okay, so Bitcoin goes first. It leads the charge for the market cycle. Then once you get to this point and you get a small pullback, which we saw in January, the DCA index tells you that the market is overheated. So you start to sell some of your position. You don't get up to this highest risk level here at 90 to 100. So you start to sell some of your position. You're moving it into altcoins now. Now the altcoins start to outperform Bitcoin. Okay. Then if we come back here, February, you're now in the 90 to 100 range. And so we'll move to February at that point, and you're buying more of these altcoins. You can see every single one of them outperformed Bitcoin during that same time. So being out of Bitcoin and into anything else would have been better. Or, any of the top 20, that is. Finally, what would we want to be in then when the market crashed in May? Well, ideally, you'd want to be out of all your altcoin positions. And again, the DCA index exists for many of the top altcoins, not all of them, but the DCA index would have had you getting out of all your altcoins basically in between April and May. And remember, a model like this isn't going to attempt to maximize every single cent of profit that you can get, because it opens yourself up to too much risk, because you don't know exactly when the top is coming. So a model like this is attempting to identify just a general position of being overheated in the market and helping you to get out of your risky altcoin positions. Here's May. This is when the market crashed right here. So we'll start from right here. Now, the DCA index, you'll note, would had you start accumulating Bitcoin again. So let's say that you're out of your altcoin positions. You sold in between April and the early part of May. You would have started acquiring Bitcoin again right here on May 15th. That's when Bitcoin reached a place where, so you have no crypto position maybe the first 2 weeks of May. Now you're acquiring Bitcoin again. And sure enough, over this time period, from the end of this prior leg of the bull run up until now, Bitcoin has outperformed everything across the board, save a few coins, things like Solana and maybe a few others. Okay. So I've just included, a lot of the big well-known coins again, because we're just trying to show things that are in like the top 50 that people can know about. Other things that may be up here are like Luna, things like that. Some things have outperformed Bitcoin, but the vast majority of coins, even the better projects, have been outperformed by Bitcoin, which is what we've said all along. Bitcoin leads the charge in the setting of a new or a continuing bull market. Sure enough, Bitcoin has led the charge. And from here, what we expect, depending on how much time is left in the market cycle, we expect Bitcoin to continue to lead the charge. So as it starts to reach up into 70, 80, and maybe even 90, we will sell our Bitcoin position and slowly move it into the altcoin positions. For reference, Bitcoin is currently in the mid 50s. Okay. And if you're wondering, that would have put us, if we come back here, the last time we were in the mid 50s was around December. So right prior to the parabolic run in the market. Now, that doesn't mean that that's going to happen again this time. It's just to show you that's where we were last time. And if we go back to 2017, we were in the mid 50s. You know, actually 2017 was a bit different, as you'll recall, because we constantly bounced off this 20-week moving average. So we had these big dips, and these brought us down each time into an acquisition phase where we would start buying Bitcoin again. So we were in the mid 50s last, right around here, at around November of 2017. So from there we went parabolic, and in the next 2 months, went from a price of around 6,000 up to 20,000. So here in December, when we were last in the mid 50s, we went from around 24,000 up to around 64,000. Okay, so we're right on schedule, guys. This is exactly what we expect, and I think the key takeaway here is Bitcoin is giving you your best risk-adjusted returns, and what you want to do is be acquiring primarily Bitcoin and then some altcoins during bear markets. But most importantly, during bull markets, you want to have Bitcoin at the beginning of the bull market, like we've seen here, right? It's outperforming everything except a few coins. You want to have Bitcoin, and then as Bitcoin starts to go parabolic, then you start to sell out of your Bitcoin position and move it into the altcoins. So I know it's a lot. I hope I hope you're able to take away some things from this. If you're interested in the DCA index model, I'm actually giving this away. You can go to the Telegram channel, and there's a Google Forms sign-up sheet there, and I'll try and get it to you as soon as possible. So other than that, that's it for this one, guys. So if you like this type of content, hit like and subscribe. And until next time, as usual, see you.